Welcome to my channel. My name is Max, and I would like to formally welcome you to the Rosewood Legacy Dead of Night. So this has been a long time coming. The previous generation was way longer than it was supposed to be, so I've been preparing for quite a while for this one, honestly. Disclaimer, this is Generation 3. You don't have to watch any of the previous generations if you don't want to, but I would highly recommend it because I spent an insane amount of time on them and I love them, so you can watch the previous ones if you want to, but today we're going to be starting with Generation 3. So this is not so our main character and our heir, who is the same person, will be in a upcoming video, but for now we're going to be doing some of the background characters. Our main character's name is Isadora. Isadora Rosewood Rivera is her name, and she is going to be moving to San Myshuno, into the big city, because she's really interested in honestly getting away from her smothering parents, because she has a lot of parents. It's a long story, but again, you watch previous generations or the CAS video for Isadora and I'll catch you all up. But today we are focusing on Isadora's new neighbors. They are going to be kind of the main secondary cast in the series. They're going to be living in an apartment next door. There are 4 of them and we're going to be looking at all of them today. As I just said, it's going to be about moving to the city and nightlife and stuff, but there's a little more to it than that, and I have been dropping hints along the way. I've been dropping hints in Sapphire Cliffs episodes, I've been dropping hints in Cherry episodes, and in CAS videos, and in my community page, and on Twitter and Instagram. Like, I've been dropping hints. So hopefully you guys have picked up on some things, but your suspicions may be confirmed in this video, or they might not be. I'm not going to outright state anything, but let's just say, you know, there's something a little bit strange about these 4 Sims. Something strange is coming. And you might notice that there's just some weirdness going on with them. And I'll leave it to you to take a look and see in their appearances or in their personalities. There's just something a little off. Your suspicions will likely be confirmed either in the first episode at the beginning, because I know with Sapphire Cliffs I advertised really badly because I wanted people to be shocked when they found out it was a mystery, but I think that was a bad idea because nobody knew what it was, so nobody wanted to watch it. But it's a mystery, and if you don't want spoilers, I would always suggest going and watching that, because it's like probably my life's work at this point. I made a movie, 2-hour movie, machinima. I'm going to be introducing like what I do a little bit more in Isadora's video, because if there are to be new people, I expect them to be on that video or the first episode rather than this one. So I'm gonna just leave all of the real explainy stuff about who I am and my channel and everything to that video. But we're gonna finally start talking about the characters you're seeing on screen. These Sims have been in the works for a while and I'm really excited about them. This is not the first time I've made characters for a generation. In the prologue, which was the childhood of the first generation, I created some Sims, and for the first generation I created just two friends for our founder. And in the last series, Sapphire Cliffs, I made 8 Sims, 8 side characters, and I think that was, well, it wasn't overly excessive because it was pretty easy to keep track of them in my opinion, but I've got a sweet spot here with just 4 Sims. Something I should probably start to talk about before we get into the specifics of the Sims is where all of these Sims are from. Why are they roommates? All of that. They're roommates because they know each other believe it or not. But they're also roommates because they all work in the same nightclub. It's not the most popular nightclub, but it is the most interesting one in San Myshuno. And that is why Isadora is keen to work there. So she might be working with some of these Sims. But they're also her neighbors, so we might be seeing a lot of these characters. So our first character you are seeing on the screen is Elena Romanova. She is a dancer and a waitress at the club, and now there's a couple different reasons that I chose that name for her, mainly because one of my friends had a red-haired sim named Elena. I'm so sorry, Noe, for stealing your sims. So Elena is a generous, gloomy art lover and a painter extraordinaire. She likes to paint, dance, and write poetry and songs. It was very fun to make. I had a vision in my head for her for a long time, so it was a little difficult for me to get it out perfectly because it was just something I've been imagining for so long, but I think I like how she turned out. There are a lot of other things you will be finding out about these characters over the course of the series, but I'm gonna leave it pretty simple for now. Elena is the youngest of all of these Sims. She starts at age 21. I think Isadora will start around age 22 or 23. But at the start of this, she's going to be 21. She is a lesbian, and she is probably one of the more popular staff members among the crowds who come. She's very friendly and inviting, and just a good time to have around. We'll likely be moving on to our next sim. This is Rio Casemere, and he is also a neighbor and member of the club. I did forget to mention that the reason this video is called Apartment A is because the apartment they live in is called Apartment A. Pretty self-explanatory, but I thought I'd point that out because Adora will be living in Apartment B in their building. So Rio is a band member. He is part of the band that typically spends their time at the club. They are sometimes just, DJing, but a lot of the time they'll have the live band in that has sometimes like rock types of music. It's like an alternative rock kind of style of music. He is a music lover, self-absorbed love bug, an interesting trait combination, and a musical genius. He is good with music. As I mentioned, Elena is a songwriter, and she typically helps him with the lyrics on his music. He plays the electric guitar, and he also sings, but he also does know how to DJ. If the band isn't performing live, he'll be in the booth. He is omnisexual, and he definitely is also somebody who is pretty beloved by the club, as he is very charming and really knows how to get the crowd excited for more of a grunge style, and he is actually related to the person in charge of the club, which could make him a small-scale Nepo baby, because he definitely gets a little bit of privilege within the club, but I like him anyway. Shortly, we're going to be moving on to our next sim. Alright, and for character number 3, we have Pandora Braeburn. She is amazing. She really is. She is a bouncer. She is also technically can serve as a bodyguard if somebody in the club needs it, because, as I said, it's a pretty interesting club. There are interesting folks coming in, and she can provide a pretty good bodyguard. But first and foremost, she is a bouncer. She is a loyal loner active sim. I was debating on also giving her the hothead trait, but I only have 3 traits, so I just had to choose one or the other with hothead or loner. I ended up going for loner, but in my head she is still both. It has the bodybuilder aspiration and enjoys fitness, baking, and research and debate. She's bisexual and definitely isn't as popular with the crowd as Elena and Rio are. Her primary job is to keep people safe, and sometimes drunk people hate to be safe. So people don't love her, but I love her, so it's okay. She's wonderful. I honestly, I really like how all of these sims turned out. I got some new CC right before making Pandora, so I used it on her, so I am really excited about her. But I love them all a lot. I wish that I had more to say about each of these sims, but there's just a lot yet to be learned about them that I can't quite share with you yet, so even though I'm sharing kind of just small bits and pieces in this video, we'll be getting a lot more in the future, so it makes up for it in that way. I did forget to mention though that Rio is 25 and Pandora is 27. And our final sim here is Soren Magnus. He is kind of I don't know what the right word is, second in command. He's technically serves as a manager sometimes, but he's technically not the actual manager. He is a genius proper and overachiever sim. Typically I give them one negative trait, and I kind of decided to give him overachiever and spin it to be more of a negative thing for him. It really bothers him. It's definitely something that hinders him, which is something that I can relate to. He's pretty uptight, not very humorous, got a lot of serious energy about him, and he doesn't particularly look that way, but I really don't like the way that I imagine really uptight blonde men. I don't like that look, so I just went for something different. So he doesn't look quite right for his personality, but I would rather him look like that than anything else. He enjoys spending time on knowledge, logic, and certain types of music, such as the pipe organ. He definitely he's not really popular with the club goers, but that's just because he doesn't really get into the scene much. He is very much a behind the scenes kind of guy, and so he's just not exactly somebody that the club goers know. However, he is definitely seen as a leader among the staff at the club. He is around age 22 at the start of the series, and he is strict. A little bit more just about all of them in general that I just haven't really mentioned yet. They do have 2 aspirations in my head, and I'm not going to share all of their secondary aspirations. They're a little bit secretive, but specifically I wanted to talk about Rio's. Rio really would like to be a celebrity. He would like to get out of this club scene and get more into a moving around a lot because you're around tuber kind of scene, because he really likes making music. But there are some things holding him down. Pandora definitely isn't one of the most friendly characters, but she isn't mean, she's just a bit distant, and you could say that there's a reason for that deep down. Pandora is a bit peculiar because she has certain hobbies that you wouldn't really strike her as liking. You could assume she just doesn't really match her looks and attitude doesn't really match her hobbies, but you could also say that maybe she picked up her hobbies from someone else. Elena clearly has some deep-seated regret in her, and you can't really tell what it's about, but you can tell that she has her reservations. She does everything she can to hide it, but there is something odd about her. And as much as she is a very trustworthy person, there's still just something off. Soren, he doesn't talk much about what he wants, but his behind-the-scenes work isn't unintentional. I would much rather be behind the scenes than out in the open, because when you're out in the open and out under the sun, where everybody can see every single part of you, that's what he's the most afraid of. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I am very excited to continue on this journey with you guys. I'm really excited to show you guys Isadora. She is an absolutely wonderful sim, and I'm very excited to move on to another era of the Rosewood Legacy. As you can probably tell, this generation, like the last one, is gonna have some complicated stuff. If what I've said so far is any indication. It's gonna be fun though. I think it will be. I hope everybody has a fantastic time between now and the next time I see you, and I will see you later. Goodbye.